There's something that happens in nature between 3:30 and 3:40 in the morning, and it's a significant part of time. How do people start this journey? Because many of these things make sense, but in the world we live in, it's hard to understand where to begin. We can manage our chemistry the way we want, but we need 32 hours of time where we are fully concentrated. Do you really think your life is worth this investment? I ask you, I think so. 32 hours of focus. All humans want their lives improved. If you don't show them appropriate ways to grow, they will find shortcuts. Yes, a man going to a bar and another going to church, a temple, or whatever else are seeking the same thing, to improve their lives. Isn't that so? If you don't show them an appropriate way, they'll do anything, use any means possible, that's it. You want to move forward, but actually you're pushing yourself back. Your intelligence has turned against you, that's it. If your intelligence had worked for you, you would still have done sinful things. 85% of the population today is dealing with alcohol or some kind of drug. We have reached the point where to grow our food, we need chemicals. To be healthy, we need chemicals. Today, 70% of the population has some kind of link in medical description. To be at peace with ourselves, joyful, we need chemicals, even to be enthusiastic. Surely you have enthusiasm, and it is at your disposal. But this way we are progressing towards chemicals exponentially. The water you drink is full of chemicals, the air you breathe, and the food you eat are poisoned. Consequently, if 90% of humanity consumes chemicals, consciously or unconsciously, the next generation we bring forth will be of lower quality than us, and this is a crime against humanity. So, right now chemicals are acting as cobwebs, not a launching pad. It's a cobweb where you can fall and experience your own little paradise. But the truth is, you're ruining yourself in many different ways. The most important thing in life, whether it's a grasshopper jumping in a meadow or it's you, both, indeed all of us, are dying to have the fullest life we can have. The grasshopper is trying to be a full-fledged grasshopper. A human being is trying to be a full-fledged human being. If you take away all his faculties from a human being, even if temporarily, have you improved his life? Intoxication is precisely this. It takes away your faculties for a period of time. It makes you feel good for a while, but if you continue to use these substances, you are stepping back in your life, because it can only be improved by entrusting it and increasing our capabilities, not by substitution. So, we're taking a step back even if we're experiencing pleasure. You need to understand that the biggest chemical factories, the most sophisticated chemical factories, are always active. If you are a good manager, from all this you will produce what you want. On the contrary, if you are a bad manager, you will do wrong things. You will get anxiety or something else. The more you delve into yourself, the more garbage you gather, because you haven't understood how to harness or manage your chemical factory. Why has your intelligence turned against you? Because there's not a stable enough foundation. A stable foundation is the whole system of yoga. You have to create strong foundations so that your intelligence works for you. If your intelligence is against you, there will be no power in the universe that can save you. You're finished. I've written in my books that we're obsessed with the thought of this world. When you say, "I'm thinking about this," another way to say it is, "I'm inventing this." You can invent whatever you want as long as you like, but it can be dangerous to always try to stay in your thoughts and eventually feel what you invent. Unfortunately, it's not like that. Are your thoughts yours, or do they belong to the thoughts themselves? You decide. The whole human experience comes from thinking, isn't it? I don't know what kind of genes express this thing, but in America there are more or less 1 million books that tell you how to find happiness from something or someone else. According to me, the way you find happiness is probably the way you want to receive it, isn't it? It's not as simple as that. I'm asking, what comes externally from you might not be the right way to find your happiness, but what comes from you is probably the right way to be happy. If anything in the world happened as you wanted it to, would you be grateful or miserable? People come to me and ask, "Please teach us how to control the mind." And I reply, "Do you want your mind under control or free to think?" And the other, "Yes, free, but how do you control it?" They think intelligence is a real problem that hinders their life. So what's the solution? If I removed a part of your brain, would everything be fine? Essentially, you're saying you want someone else's brain because you can't manage your thoughts. The point is this. Charles Darwin said we evolved from a monkey. So once upon a time you were a monkey, but now you're a man. The differences in your DNA and that of a chimpanzee are 1.23%. In this sense, physically, you're only 1.23% away from a chimpanzee. That's not a big difference, is it? It's just a veil that separates us from the animal. And yet, in terms of intelligence, you're a completely different world from a chimpanzee. So your problem is simply that you don't have a stable enough platform to support your intelligence. If I taught you a way where you can manage your chemistry the way you want, but it requires 32 hours of time where you're nothing but concentrated, do you think your life means enough to you to make this investment? It's up to you to answer. That's why it's called an engineering program, 32 hours of absolute concentration. We can practice it in different ways, but the effort is the same. Today's youth should do more physical activity, should be more in touch with nature, maybe climb a mountain, swim in a lake. How could a young person gain courage and strength? Learn to manage more things if they don't do something a little unpredictable. Today, everything is already predefined. It's not good. Yes, I think people nowadays are losing that relationship with their body. But we can start from this. What is yoga? The word yoga means union. Union can be applied by everyone, consciously or not. Right now, you're not just looking here and now, apart from everything else. What you inspire, the plants inspire too, but it doesn't just stop at breathing, but in every field, and it's happening now, here and now. What you think of as myself is just a physical limit you've built. So yoga means consciously obliterating the limits of your individuality. So if you sit here and start perceiving everything around you as yourself, have you understood what yoga means? If you perceive all of this as yourself, do you need morality? Has anyone ever taught you how to eat? These are 5 fingers. This is the little finger, don't cut it off. Is morality necessary? When everything starts to be perceived as yourself, you don't need any moral value, nothing. That's what yoga means. You experience everything as if it were a part of yourself. When a person feels the whole universe as a part of himself, then it is said that he is a yogi. Yoga is the science of aligning your geometry, your individual geometry, with the cosmic one. When the geometry is congruent with something larger, it becomes a whole. It makes you experience yourself as that immense something. In this sense, you reorganize your geometry so that it is congruent with the immense cosmic geometry. Once I started doing simple physical yoga, after a month or two, no matter where I am, still today at 3:30, 3:40 in the morning, I always wake up. There's something that happens in nature between 3:30 and 3:40 in the morning, and in yoga, it's called Brahma Muhurta. It's an energetically intense part of time. In fact, when it happens, your body wakes up. Actually, everyone feels it, but simply very often they don't pay attention. Many changes occur thanks to yoga. That's why I always try to remind people that no matter the reason that drives you to do the right thing, even if you have a bad reason, in the end you can do what is right, and consequently the right things will happen to you. It sounds simple, but it doesn't mean it's easy. Surely it's not difficult. Many people understand complex equal to intelligence. If they get twisted, then they're definitely intelligent. It doesn't work like that. Taking something simple and making it difficult is not intelligence. Rather, it's intelligence to simplify a complex thing. Or am I wrong? A wrong sense of intelligence has entered people's minds. If they make every solution a problem, are they proving themselves intelligent? No. True intelligence is finding a solution to every problem. How do you start this journey? Because many of these things make sense, but in the world we live in, I know it's hard to start. You know, yesterday I was attending this academic presentation where I was explaining how to do it. At some point I made a simple argument. To learn the ABC, to learn to read and write a simple language like English, and I'm referring to it as a simple language because there are only 26 letters in the alphabet. To learn this simple language, it takes 12 years of school to read, write, and understand, and for all that, it takes 12 years. Instead, to completely transform your life, you demand 2 minutes. Is your life worth 2 minutes? Is your existence useful? It's not fair. If you devote energy and time rather than seeking useless things like finding a mantra that changes your entire life if said once, especially since it doesn't work like that. That's why many people have remained in the way they are, because they still don't understand how much they're worth. In conclusion, we have explored how managing our mental and chemical faculties can profoundly influence the quality of our lives. Yoga and other mindfulness practices offer us tools to improve ourselves without resorting to chemical shortcuts that, in the long run, harm us. Let's remember that to live a full and fulfilled life, we must invest time and energy in cultivating our intrinsic abilities. If you found this video helpful, I invite you to subscribe to the Pearls of Wisdom channel for more content that will guide you on your journey of personal growth and awareness. Don't forget to leave a comment and share this video with those you think may benefit from it. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.